Help me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. It's nice to be with you on this dark, wet Thursday. I don't know why, but it stems right back from when I was a child. I used to really dislike Thursdays. And it's carried over. Isn't it strange? I don't know if it was the subjects I used to have at school that I didn't particularly like, but I used to remember always dreading Thursdays and really disliking Thursdays. And even now, when I wake up and I realise it's Thursday, I still have that same sort of feeling. No particular reason why. Thursday's no different to any other day of the week, really, when you work full time like I do. But yeah, it's just something about Thursday. So it's nice to be able to sit here and do a deck walkthrough with you. So I've received a few decks from Schiffer, Tarot Leaves, which is by Beth Salonen, and you know I love her decks. So I will do a walkthrough of that at some point. The Dark Goddess Tarot and also the Insight Tarot. But as you'll have seen from the title, I'm itching to have a look at the Dark Goddess Tarot by Ellen Lorenzi Prince. Now, we spoke about this at the weekend, if you was able to catch me over on the Tarot Times, the collaboration channel that I do with Becca from Becca Talks and Tarot and Elle from Wolf Meets Witch. And the three of us get together once a month and we talk about decks that are due out for release. Now, this deck has already been released in the States, but it's not released in the UK until the end of October. So this is kind of like an advanced copy. I would have had it a couple of weeks ago, if not a month ago, but my order from Schiffer was sent back. I've been having issues with mail recently, so it was sent back. So it was resent again. And I received it today. So yeah, Dark Goddess Tarot. This is with it being by Schiffer, Red Feather, it's the mass market edition. There was an independent version that was self-published by Ellen Lorenzi Prince, and I never had it. I did have Tower of the Crone. I did trade it, and now I'm hoping as well that Tower of the Crone will be picked up as well. It's very similar art style. So let's take off the plastic and have a look at this beautiful set. It's nice to have it in a big box, which makes me think the guidebook is going to be nice and big. So let's remove the plastic. And I love Schiffer, as you know, they're my favourite, mass market publishers because the quality of their packaging is beautiful, and this is no exception. It's a lovely matte finished box. It says Dark Goddess Tarot, Ellen Lorenzi Prince, and yeah, nice little design. So on the back it says dark as in deep, dark as in kept in shadow, dark as in real, as in blood, sweat and tears, dark as the body of the Queen of Heaven. Rich in myth and magic, the Dark Goddess Tarot brings the reader messages from 78 powerful supernatural female figures from nearly every culture around the globe. They can be shunned or overlooked as they represent aspects of life that people find uncomfortable, sometimes only when those powers are in female hands. That's interesting. Powers of age and death, sex and sovereignty, ferocity and judgment. The Dark Goddess Tarot invokes these beings that their wisdom may guide us through the darkness they traverse. Their stories, their likes, and their cultures appear in the tarot, where their energies and the cards' meanings intersect. Visionary in scope, yet grounded in scholarship, the Dark Goddess Tarot is made for dark times, encouraging the reader to embrace authenticity, strength, and deep inner wisdom. So that's a lovely write-up. So I like these boxes that flip up at the side. They have this magnetic closure. Lovely design on the inside. Here we have the book. So we do have a nice guidebook with these beautiful full-page colour images. Wow. Look at that. Wow. Spider Woman. Alchemy's Brigid. This is a beautiful book. So let's, oh, look at the cards as well. It looks like the box has got a little bit damaged, but as long as the cards are okay. So let's take the cards out. I probably won't keep this. I'll probably put them in a bag actually, because yeah, this has got pretty dinged up. The box is fine, but the gilded, wow, this has got pretty torn up and bashed. So if this comes out, it's going to make a bit of a mess. So that's a bit of an issue, because it's left a bit of a mess taking that off, but that was so dinged up. But I can put the book in and it's fine. It's only the inside of the box, and the cards can go in a bag. I've got lots of spare bags to use. So here's the book, The Dark Goddess Tarot. Oh, look at that. Even the pages, the edges, I like that. 176 pages. Here's the author. For Ellen Lorenzi Prince, working with the tarot is an integral part of her spiritual path. From the 1985 Women's Retreat, where she was given her first deck, to the card she draws today. The tarot is her companion on her path to the goddess and her primary tool in her presence of divination, the art of having a conversation with the divine. So let's look at the inside. 2020. So we have an introduction about the deck, working with the goddess, the major arcana, the minor arcana, dark goddess tarot spreads, and then a summary, the journey of the Dark Goddess Tarot, and my personal journey with the Dark Goddess Tarot, and about the author. So I like that. I like that we get, you know, working with the goddesses. So the introduction, and then we've got a quick reference guide here showing the full right through to the world, and then the association. So for example, Freya as the lovers, La Santa Muerte for death, as you'd expect. We have corruption rather than the devil. So it gives you what the cards are entitled in the Dark Goddess Tarot, what they're traditionally titled, and then also the association with the goddess, Baba Yaga for the hermit. So this will be great. And then we have a change to the courts. So we have Amazon for page, Siren for knight, witch for queen, and hag for king. I like that. Just making sure this isn't too saturated, because we've got the evening sun streaming in through the window now. And that's why I'm struggling to read, because I've got artificial light and the dying sun, and it's casting all sorts of shadows. A little bit here about working with the goddesses. Only a small part of what can be known about each goddess is presented. My focus is the aspect of the goddess as it relates to the energy of the card. So this is a beautiful book. I'm loving how all these textures and colours, and then it goes straight into the cards. And I love that we get these full images, and look at how the pages are edged. This is a wonderful book, and it's really great to work with these goddesses as well and link them with the tarot. Look at that, Father of Earth, Demeter. Wow, wonderful. My personal journey, and then, as we said, about the author. So really like that book. But you want to see the cards, and lots of people say to me, oh, I wish you would get to the cards. But you know, I think it's, I kind of do my walkthroughs how I like to see walkthroughs myself. And if you're buying a set like this, then I think it's important that we look at everything, you know. And that's what an unboxing is. It's to look at everything that comes as you open a box of goodies. So it's a lovely thick deck. This is a very thick deck. Cardstock is fantastic. They do have a gloss, but they're not sticky. I can remember when we used to buy decks a few years back, you used to have to kind of prise them apart. These just glide. There's no stickiness at all. So rather than a gloss, it's kind of like a lamination, but it's not a thick, heavy set gloss. These are the backs, which I really like. I think those backs are lovely. I think in the independent version, I think it was just a plain black back. I could be wrong, but this is the backs that they've gone with. Beautiful gold gilding. I do like a nice gilded deck. And yeah, this is a thick deck. Let's compare it to something like the Centennial, which is also quite a thick deck because US Games do good card stock as well. But let's do a bit of a side by side. So you can see here the difference in thickness, and that is quite a thick deck. Another one might be the WS Tarot. Oops. You can see the difference in thickness there. So, nice thick deck. So, here we go. So, let's have a look. Let's zoom in and have a look at the cards and the goddesses. So here's our Fool. Now, I'll probably try and pronounce these and be pronouncing them completely wrong. But we've got Sheila Nargig, Isis for the Magician, the Pythia for our High Priestess. It's just entitled here Priestess. The Black Madonna for the Empress. That's beautiful. Look at the red hair. The Morrigan. So instead of having the Emperor, so we've got our Empress. Of course, this is a goddess deck, so it's all female energy. We have sovereignty rather than the Emperor, and we have the Morrigan. Look at these skulls. Sybil for the Hierophant. Freya is our lovers. Ishtar. Is it Ishtar? Chariot. Oh, I like that card. Beautiful. Here we have Baba Yaga, the Hermit. Look at the little house. So, I like to stop on the Hermit, and I like to just have a quick look at what the book has to say. What does the book say? So, here's the book. It says, Baba Yaga, the fearsome Russian witch of the woods, with iron teeth, bony legs, and a nose so long it rattles on the roof of her hut when she snores. She lives in a hut in a trackless forest. Her home has a personality of its own. Its windows are eyes, and it moves about on giant chicken legs. I didn't realise the windows were eyes. It can follow wherever Baba Yaga chooses to wander in her northern woods. She travels bent and perched inside a giant mortar, pushing herself across the forest floor or flying and stirring up the skies with her large pestle. So it's a pestle and mortar. Her other hand holds a birch broom to erase the traces of her passing. She is reclusive, with no wish to be disturbed, content as she is with the company of spirits and her faithful mysterious servants, the bodiless hands she calls soul friends, and her beloved horsemen, the white, the red and the black, whom she calls Bridget Dawn, Red Sun and Dark Midnight. Her powers are earthy and old and as encompassing as time. So it does describe the scene of the card, which I really like it when books do that. And then it continues on. I won't read it all, but then again you get the bit here when Baba Yaga appears. So that's good for when you're doing reading. So I really like the amount of information you get. You get a bit about the history, the culture, and describing the scene, as well as how to read it within the tarot. Oh, I'm excited to work with this deck. I really am. Fortuna, the Wheel of Fortune. I've got that piece of music playing now in my head, Oh Fortuna. Mart for Justice, the Heart and the Feather. Oh wow. I had to really kind of look at that because it's the Hanged one, so it's through the water, kind of threw me off. Tiamat, La Santa Muerte, Death. I think this was on the cover of the original box as well. We have Bridget, love Bridget, Alchemy. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but this is our Corruption, our Devil card. We have Carly. Thank goodness she hasn't been changed. For Destruction, which is apt. For the Tower. And then the Star is Spider Woman. Ariane Rod for the Moon. Oh, that looks like the little Glastonbury tour. Sandra from the Whispering Well will really love this. We've got kind of like the Wheel of Time as well, which appears here. It's almost like a compass for the moon. We've got the crescent moon and she's part of that. Sun. Persephone is Liberation for the Judgment card. And the World. So let's just go a little bit faster through the minors. So we have fire. So we're just working with the elements, fire, water, air and earth. That's wonderful. I never mind the mix up or switch around of the minors, particularly if it's the elements, because that's what we do, right? We know that wands is fire, water of course is our cups, so it makes perfect sense to me. I quite like seeing it just represented as the elements. Oh, Hecate. So some goddesses are really familiar to me, like Persephone and Hecate, etc. And others I've got a lot to learn about. I think that's pronounced Circa, isn't it? 4. And it's just lovely to see different cultures represented. 5 of fire. 6. Durga. I know quite a bit about Durga. 7 of fire. Red Dakini. Amazon of fire. So if we remember now, once we get past the 10, our page is Amazon, Siren for our knight, and then we have the Witch for the Queen, and we have Ceridwen. Isn't the art fantastic? So is that Maman Bridget? Maman Bridget? The Hag for the King. Face of the Deep. So we're into water now. 2, which would be our cup suit. Wow, it's a powerful card. Look at all these skeletons. I mean, it's 5 of cups, isn't it? So you've got that sort of loss. Definite. This is a deck I'm really going to have to study the guidebook with, but I'm excited to have the book. This will be a great deck to work with through October as well, as we get into the darker part of the year. Aphrodite is the siren. And then we go into air, which is our swords. Athena. Crushed underfoot. Such a beautiful deck. Crow Mother. The Banshee. Wow. Lilith. Oh yeah. And then our final suit is the suit of Earth, which would be Pentacles. We have Gaia for the Ace of Earth. I wouldn't necessarily call Gaia a dark goddess, but you know, everything has an opposite. Hell for the 2. Demeter. Oh, this is an amazing deck. Wow, this is an incredible deck. The artwork is stunning. I love the artwork. I think the deck, oh, I didn't do a size comparison. I think it feels a little bit wider than a standard, but I could be wrong. Yeah, it's wider and bigger than a standard US Games tarot size deck. I always use this as a size comparison. So it's a really nice sized deck. As I said, it's quite hefty. It's got beautiful gilding. The artwork is lovely. I love it, and I cannot wait to work with it, but really study this book as well, so I can find out about the history and the culture of some of these goddesses. So thank you for watching. Is this a deck that you've got? Did you have the independent version? Or is it a deck that you want to get? Is it one that you've been working with? Do you work with it at certain times or in certain situations? Let me know. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll probably be back next to do the Tarot of Leaves over the next couple of days. And until then, go in peace. Namaste and blessed be.